Well, that was a movie.
Hello and welcome back to Simon's Rants. I'm Simon, and today I'm giving my first thoughts on Dìdi. It's the new film by writer and director Sean Wang and starring Isaac Wang. If you don't know anything about this movie, it was premiered at Sundance. It is a coming-of-age story centered around this main character, Chris Wang, who is a 13-year-old in 2008 America. He is Asian and so has that as a struggle, along with, of course, just the typical struggle of being 13 years old, figuring out life, trying to adapt to life, rapidly changing your body, your personality, your friends and family, everything changing. And it is that which has been done before, I'll be honest, but it is done in 2008, which is the kind of the new generation's thing. It's like my generation, like I was 13 in 2008. So the director who also wrote it is about my age, I'd assume. I think it's based on his life. And so every generation or so get a coming-of-age story like this, and so this is this generation's one. And right off the bat, I love this movie. I really genuinely love this movie. I think, and I know I've seen some complaints saying that this movie felt a little aimless or felt like it didn't have a real ending. It kind of just was telling vague stories about what it's like to be this age and this era. And I'll say yes and no. I will say, first of all, that it is a slice of life film, you know, and not everybody's a fan of that. Some people want action, some people want, you know, a big message at the end or something, everything to wrap together. And this movie isn't that. It's showing what it's like to be growing up in this era, and does a great job of that, from the MySpace to the Facebook to the YouTube of it all. And you know, everybody's got a camera, everybody's got a cell phone, there's AOL, there's texting, and it's just like, we've seen a lot of these coming of age stories. We've never seen it done like this before because the filmmakers have never been this age before. And so I really did relate to and enjoy so much of this movie, even stuff that wasn't directly related to when it took place. Like I said, it's 2008, but there's still ideas in there, like, you know, being a 13-year-old guy, having an older sister, or, you know, fighting with your mom. You know, when you're 13 or 12, 14, that range is just, you fight with your parents all the time. So moments like that were really relatable, and even though I couldn't relate to everything they portrayed, him being an Asian American and the way that he fought with his sister wasn't something I could relate to, because it wasn't as, you know, my relationship with my family was never that stereotypical, where it's like the siblings hate each other. We all pretty much liked each other as kids growing up, so it was a little bit different. But all that to say, even the stuff that I couldn't directly relate to, like throw out another example, he got braces, I never got braces. All these things were still relatable in their essence, at their core. You know, the aspect of, say, getting the braces is part of like something, you know, that it can be a cause for insecurity, or in this case it's like, oh, he customized it, he got a certain color, and it's like, oh man, his friend's like, that's gonna be so cool, you'll get laid because of that. Just the dumb way 13-year-old boys talk. And all of it was so authentic feeling and so well done that, like I said, even the stuff I couldn't directly relate to personally, I still related to as a whole. And then there are moments, there's aspects of this movie that are so relatable, so very real and authentic to something that I experienced personally growing up. It was amazing seeing like the skate culture in 2008 mixing with the YouTube culture, and then the social media aspect, you know, because there's been movies, like I said before, where it's like mid-90s that was very centered around, you know, the youth culture then, which had a lot of the skateboarding in it as well, but obviously social media wasn't a thing yet. So some of my older friends, like Eric, he's done videos with me before, plenty of times, you've seen him, and he really relates to that age bracket, that movie of the mid-90s, because he was a teen, or he was coming of age, if you will, in the 90s. I was born in the 90s, so I came of age in 2008. Like I said, I was 13 in 2008. So this just is for me. It's for my generation, and it was so interesting, so validating, I guess, to finally get that, because I've seen so many coming of age stories throughout my life. Most of them I'm not a fan of. I've talked about, like, you know, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, didn't really get into that. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, American Graffiti, none of these movies were like that relatable to me or that interesting to me, and I'm realizing now so much of that is because they're a product of their time, and that's what they're supposed to be. They are a slice of life from a generation's perspective on a single moment in time. So it's like when you look at American Graffiti, for example, it's like the last night of summer and everybody's got their trucks all driving around, and it's like, because that's what it was like in that era. I wasn't alive in that era, and it wasn't like that for us. We didn't all go partying around, driving from place to place, you know, just, that wasn't the culture. The culture was very different, obviously, 30, 50 years later, whenever that movie takes place. And so, yeah, I'm starting to finally get the version that was made for me, and therefore actually get and enjoy it. And I'm sorry about the picture. It keeps darkening. I don't know why it's doing that. I'll try and fix it editing as best I can. It's a mess. Don't worry about it if you can. Just listen to the sweet sounds of my voice. But anyway, so like I said, that's the first part of my answer, that it is a slice of life. A deep meaning isn't necessary. My second answer is, I think the messaging of this movie is honestly deeper than it seems on the surface. I think this movie's core message, and I'll get more to this when I get into spoilers, but I feel like it really just is about life is hard, and so you have to choose what you really care about. You have to choose what your dreams are. You have to choose your battles, and you have to just kind of let things roll off your back when they don't go the picture perfect way, they don't go how you expect, they don't go how you want. And yeah, life's hard, you know, but that doesn't mean it's ending. You know, there's always a new opportunity. Just because middle school ended doesn't mean high school isn't going to start. And then there's going to be aspects of high school that really suck too, but there's going to be good aspects, and then that will end. And then you'll go on to college, and then you'll go on to life. So yeah, I think that is a very sufficient message to me. Life is ambiguous, you know, so the ending being ambiguous, if you will, is totally cool with me. And I hope that's not too much of a spoiler for you, but I had seen reviews back when I was in Sundance. I saw somebody say that, and so I was like kind of looking for that, and I kind of felt why they said that, but I ultimately decided I disagreed. So all that to say, as much as I already said I love this movie, this to me is the best movie I've seen this year. And it's not even close. It's not particularly close at all. This is the first movie this year that I saw that I felt like this could be the best movie of the year. I'm not saying it will be. We've still got quite a ways to go, and most of the great movies are saved for the holiday season, and I get that. But if the year ended today, this would be the movie of the year, to me at least. And I get it, not everybody's gonna relate. Like I said, Eric relates much more to mid-90s than I could, and I will relate to this so much more than he ever could. He won't understand a lot of, you know, the chat room stuff. He won't understand a lot of the different things that were just so hilarious, and the way that people talked and the way that people interacted is so unique to our time and that slice of life. So it's not for everybody, and I get that. It's also, like I said, maybe a little bit too ambiguous for some people. So this movie, I understand, is definitely subjectively great, but it is objectively very good. I think no matter who you are, you can watch this movie and go, that is a good movie. I see how they executed some great ideas. I think the acting was great, the directing was great, the writing was very genuine and authentic feeling. And even if it's not for you, you can see that. But if it is for you, if you happen to fall into that demographic like me or my friends, this movie is amazing. It's fantastic, and I'm so happy I saw it. I really wish I could have seen it with some friends and bounced off of them. Like, does this compute to you the same way it does to me? Because, like I said, there's certain aspects that not everybody's gonna relate to. Like I said, I didn't get braces. I didn't, you know, party as a kid. But there's aspects that I really relate to, like the YouTube of it all, the picking up a camera and thinking, oh, I can film something and make it look really cool, and then it turns out that it doesn't look cool at all. And then, you know, even the skating element of it, I was into skating a little bit and I sucked at it. Meanwhile, this kid is into skating but kind of sucks at it. So it's like that there was so many elements that were so perfect for me. And especially the relationship aspects of this movie. It's funny, every time I see a movie about family dynamics from the perspective of an Asian family, I always really strongly relate to it, and I don't know what that is because I am very white. So I don't know, but it was like this, you know, it reminded me of Everything Everywhere All at Once a little bit with the family dynamics. You could even throw out Minari a little bit, and it's just like the way that the family dynamic was portrayed was so amazing and so beautiful to me, and the interaction especially between the main character and his mother, from the fights to the moments of honesty, and it was just so good. It was so real. You know, this movie made me bawl my eyes out a couple times. It also made me laugh a lot. This movie all around, it's the whole package, and I loved it. I really genuinely loved it. So I can't recommend it enough. If that sounds like it's for you, please definitely check it out. And even if it doesn't, I think you'll still be able to enjoy aspects of it, even if you're from a different generation or you're not really into that kind of movie or thing or whatever. I still think you'll really enjoy it. I don't want to also say that it's like a perfect movie either. There was certain writing things that I was like, that's kind of weird. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. But I also think that is either intentional or it could just be because like I said, the writer-director based it off of his life. So there may just be moments that don't make sense because life doesn't make sense. So maybe that's it. And so it's kind of like a perfect imperfection to me, where I was like, some weird things there. Also, the portrayal of how it makes you feel like when you're on drugs just seemed kind of not true at all. But regardless, I really did enjoy this movie, and I would gladly give it an 8. So that's why I do think I'm going to get into spoilers now. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought. But if you don't want anything spoiled at all, you should go click away, go watch it, come back, and then we can talk about it then. Thanks, guys. Bye. So, spoilers. Yeah, there was just such a beautiful moment with him and his mother. Like I said, they were fighting a lot and progressively more as the plot went on, and it really just became from a place of his internal shame and frustration, which was also stemming from she had a lot of shame and frustration, and they just had this back and forth where eventually he's like, "Are you ashamed of me?" And she's like, "I often dream about what I could have done with my life if I hadn't got married, if I didn't have kids, if I had pursued my artistic endeavors. Maybe I could have been something, but you are my dream. Like, when I see you and your sister living this life that I've given you, and being happy and you know, making friends and stuff, that is my dream." And you know, it's such a beautiful picture of the sacrifice that parents and mothers especially give up for their kids. And I absolutely bawled my eyes out at that moment, because it really just was such a perfect picture. Like, you know, it took me back to, like I said, when I was 13, fighting with my mom like every day, because you've got so much internalized frustration. Like in this movie, he's losing friends. There's a girl he really likes that he blows it with. Everybody thinks he kind of sucks, and he's just a loser. He's an outcast, and all of this is just internalized. And then he sees how she's treating him, and he's like, because she cares so much about him, because she's made him and his sister her dream, now there's pressure on him to live up to these expectations, and it's just a boiling over point, and he doesn't understand that she has great love and hope for him that isn't dependent upon success. Now, she wants success for him, she wants the best for him, but that doesn't mean that she loves him less when he doesn't succeed. She loves him regardless. And there's just this beautiful conversation there, and I mean I'm adding a little bit into that, but that's basically what I got out of it. I just thought it was so beautiful. I love that scene so much, because yeah, life is hard, and yeah, we give up things and we don't succeed at things we want to, and man, it really sucks sometimes. It really genuinely sucks sometimes. But like I said, just because middle school is ending doesn't mean high school can't now begin. Like, that's just what happens. When one door closes, the other opens, and you're on to the next thing, and you just have to kind of let it roll off your back. Like at the end of this movie, you think, oh, he's gonna get back together with the girl maybe, and he's gonna, you know, apologize and everything's gonna work out. And she's like, no, you're weird, because her friend called him a slur, and so he smacked him or punched him in the face, or actually hit him over the head with a skateboard. And so she's like, no, you're a jerk, you're weird, I don't want anything to do with you. And so this movie has kind of a very bittersweet ending of like, all the friends he lost, he still lost. The girl that got away still got away, but we're on to high school now, and it's okay. We're moving on. And, you know, there's a little bit of an optimistic tint to that, even though a lot of it sucks and you wish things had gone differently. So I was like, that's just beautiful. I love that. Like, it's hard as the audience to swallow that pill sometimes because you want a good ending, you want a happy ending, but it's like, this is just life. Life isn't always gonna come with a bow on it, you know? And so I really did enjoy how that was portrayed, actually, because that, you know, was a lot of my experience as well. You know, growing up, like, there was a lot of things as a kid that I'm sure everybody can relate to, but it's like, I wasn't ever the popular kid in school. When I was in college, I was popular for about a year because I dated a popular girl. Outside of that, I was never the popular kid. I was always a little bit of a loser, and you know, a lot of girls rejected me, and a lot of friendships ended, and there was just a lot of turmoil going on. That was my experience too. And so seeing that, it's just like, yes, this is how life is. But guess what? It doesn't end when middle school ends, and it doesn't end when high school ends. It just keeps going. And so it's like, you can be optimistic and you can be hopeful that things are going to keep moving. For better or worse, life keeps moving until it doesn't, you know? So, yeah, I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I really enjoyed all the quirkiness of it, all the humor of it, too, just from the awkward social media interactions and the DMing, oh man, it was like he Facebook stalked the girl he liked because he was trying to impress her, so he was like, oh, she needs a movie recommendation. Let me look at her favorite movies list. Walk to Remember, sure. And she's like, you've seen A Walk to Remember? And he's like, yeah, why wouldn't I have? And having no idea that it's a chick flick, and it's just like stuff like that. It was just so relatable and so authentic feeling that I was like, this has to have just been a lot from the writer-director's life, because I don't think you can just, unless he's an amazing writer, I don't think you can just come up with this stuff. It felt like a real thing, a real situation. Like, he's in the car with his mom, and they kind of had a little fight, and then he's like, oh my God, did you just fart? And she's like, and I hate fart humor, you know that. And she's like, oh yeah, sorry. And he covers his nose, and she starts sniffing, and he's like, what, wait, you trying to smell it? And she's like, no, I'm sniffing it away, I'm taking it away so that it will go away, you won't have to smell it anymore. And it's just this really funny random interaction that it just felt like such a real moment, because like, there's no way you just come up with that. And maybe you do, maybe he did, I don't know. But yeah, so I loved that moment. It was hilarious and just felt real. I just enjoyed every aspect of this movie. Like, the humor worked 99% of the time. The drama was great. I will agree that the ending is a bit ambiguous and vague, and maybe you would want more, or maybe you'd want just a happier ending. I get that, I do. But to me, it was perfectly fine how it was, and I really enjoyed that it didn't, you know, spoon feed the audience or make everything all work out together. What we see is that he's starting high school, he's joining a club, things are looking up. For better or worse, things are looking up. So that's what I had to think. I really enjoyed it. If you've seen it, please let me know what you thought of it. Also, once again, sorry for the lighting. This video sucks. But hopefully you could just enjoy the sound of my voice. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.